trying to get my Bluetooth thing work so it's louder.
Is ready to pair.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of NC-17. My name is Josh, and today we have with us actor Cliff Cash. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good, pretty good. I'm digging the whole background over there you got going on.
Oh God, you should see my house. My wife hates it.
You should see mine. My wife hates it too.
She's like, I thought it was going to stay in one room and house throughout the whole house. So this keeps growing.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna get into the movies and just the projects you've been involved with. But before that, take us back a little bit and kind of take us through your journey of what really got you to where you are today, and was movies and entertainment always something you wanted to do?
It all started pretty much when I was a kid because I always loved monster movies. So I started tinkling with makeup and special effects. And then I started going to Horror Hound. And I went for about 5 or 6 years. And then one day I met this guy named Jason Sherlone who owns Entertainment Studios. And they were doing a zombie film. And he was like, would you like to come and do a part in the movie, a little part? And I was like, dude, I'm not an actor. I can't act. He's like, it's easy. We'll help you. So I went and did that. And I did some makeup on the film with them. And I kind of just started hanging out with them and doing more and more makeup on their films. And then I met William Lee, another director. I think he's out of Columbus, and did like 6 or 7 of his movies. And I said, well, why not start taking acting classes? So I went and did that for a few years. And I've gotten better and better. And then I started doing movies for D. Lynn Myers Casting, which is, I think, out of Cincinnati. And from there, the makeup thing kind of fell off, and I started doing the acting thing. And I met so many really nice, cool people. I became friends with Butch Patrick from Eddie Monster from the Monsters, and he's helped me out a lot. And Jason still helps me out at Entertainment Studios and D. Lynn Myers. And there's so many positive people and so many cool people. And after the death of my son, I was in a really bad place, and it kind of saved my life. Really, it did. And I started hanging around more positive people, and everything, my whole life just turned around because of it.
Well, first and foremost, sorry for your loss. I know it can be difficult, but I don't want to take you down that memory. So let's go to the good stuff.
Oh yeah.
So in making movies and kind of like dipping your hand in, especially the horror genre, which is, in my opinion, the best genre, would you say that through the process and getting better, as you said you have, and kind of like just going forward, are you always eager for that next set, or you just like to live in the moment?
I don't know. I kind of live for the moment, and I'm so happy that with Terrifier and some of the new movies that are coming out, because horror started kind of dying out, that it seems now that it's becoming more popular, and everybody's getting back into it. I mean, I've done all kinds of movies. I've done comedy, I've done drama, but it seems like horror to me is like the most fun to do. And they seem like some of the people who are like murderers in these movies, like Jason and Freddy, and I've met them all, and they seem like to be the nicest people out of all of them. The guys who are mass murderers. So I think horror's probably the funnest one. It's like a roller coaster. You're going up that hill and you know what's going to happen, and you go down and you laugh. And so I really just enjoy doing horror films more than anything.
Oh yeah. So is there a specific scene or a specific prop that kind of stands out to you as like one of your favorites? I won't say the favorite, but just one of your favorites.
From a movie I did, or just like any movie?
From a movie you did.
I'd have to say a movie called Finding Grassman. And it sounds like it's not a horror movie, but it is. And I don't want to give the movie away in case nobody's ever seen it, but one of the props from that I use is personally my favorite, and I still have it.
So I mean, that came out in 2018. I'm actually reading about it now. I'm not going to spoil nothing either. Uh, but kind of like playing these characters. Do you find that sometimes it's harder to kind of like take a step back and say, okay, now it's time to turn it off, or is it like a light switch? You can just turn it on or turn it off if you want when you're acting.
Um, the scary stuff, like if I'm playing a villain or something, that seems to be easy for me. But there was a movie I did called Red Mask of Death that Brian Cruz directed. And for once, I got to play someone's father, like a caring father, not crazy or insane. And that was really hard. I mean, even though I am a father and I have 5 children, it was hard to play someone else's father and make it look real and be able to cry. That was like the hardest thing ever, was being able to cry. And that was probably the most challenging thing I ever did, was playing just like a nice person, a good person, playing someone's dad, even though I'm a real one in life, but playing one on in a movie was really, I mean, I had short hair, and it was a total, they hid my tattoos. It was a total different, not me at all. So that was kind of hard.
Oh yeah.
But I think that to me, I always think of acting as like when you were a kid and you pretended to be Superman or you pretend to be anybody. It's the same thing. You're just putting yourself into that. You're becoming that character. Like Cliff no longer exists. This is who if I'm Bill, I'm Bill. And then if the character is a certain kind of a person, say a serial killer or whatever, I go back and research stuff, do a lot of researching, watch some films, see how they act, how they think, anything like that. I always try to do some background on it.
Oh yeah. Uh, as you mentioned before, you go to Horror Hound. I have some friends who actually they go to Horror Hound. I want to say Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta. They're Horrorland Media.
Yeah.
Yeah, they good friends of the show. I've had all of them on at one point or the other. So doing conventions and you're meeting other independent actors and directors and actresses, just people involved in the independent scene. I've said it in a lot of my interviews. It seems like the independent scene is such a tight knit group that everyone wants to see the next person succeed. You know.
Yes.
So in you being in the independent film and art industry part of the film, the independent part of the industry. There we go. Sorry, it's been a long day.
Yeah.
Uh, do
Oh,
you?
that's cool, man.
Oh, do you find that your spot in that space has been solidified because you do have a very healthy list of movies on here, and it's like you
Yes.
said, you cover everything. But do you find that your spot has been solidified because the footing and the steps you have took to kind of make it a more solid career for you?
Um, I've been very blessed and lucky with meeting some people and getting to do like the long list of stuff I've done. Um, and doing the conventions, I, I was always the fan, getting the autographs and stuff. And now I'm sitting behind a table, and it's I have to pinch myself all the time. Like, is this really happening? And then, I've been doing Horror Hound now for like 15 years. And when I walk in, it's just like one big family. I mean, I know everybody. And it's just I've been very blessed. I've had a guardian angel on my shoulder this whole time. Like, I just did a Ben Stiller movie, which is on Hulu, and it's a Christmas movie. And I play like the drunk guy in the bar. And Ben Stiller walks up to me and he goes, "Can you act pretty good?" And I said, "Yeah," because I was just an extra. And I said, "Yeah, I can act." And he's like, "Okay, your name's Daryl, and I'm going to give you these lines. We're going to do this." So I did it, and that right there, I mean, how does that happen to most people? You know what I mean? That Ben Stiller walks up to you and picks you out of a room full of people. So I've been very lucky. A lot of it.
Oh yeah. That movie was called Nutcrackers.
I always give. I always give 100% on any project I work on. I mean, I've grass man. I cracked my collarbone and doing a stunt, and I mean, I do the best I can, and I try to help out if it's with carrying cameras, carrying anything.
Oh
So
yeah.
I think if you're pleasant to be with on set, that really helps. That people are like, this guy's, he's in it, he's in it. So
Oh yeah. So you've worked with quite a few people. One of the movies that I've seen that I thoroughly enjoyed, you played the homeless man, was Muzzle. That was a good movie.
what was it?
Muzzle?
Oh, Muzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was a great movie with Aaron Eckhart, I think's his name.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good movie. It was exciting, and I was just an extra, a drug addict standing by a tent. But it was really cool to watch the cop cars blow up and everybody shooting everybody, and him punching the paramedic because of his dog. That was so cool to see all that.
Yeah. Uh, so when you're filming more of the horror stuff, and whether you are the villain or whether you're not the villain, is there a specific moment in filming to where it's like, okay, you got to take a step back, decompress, and kind of take it all in and then get right back into it? Or is it once you're on set, you're there to do it and you make sure that it's done to the best of your ability?
If I'm playing the villain, I usually like say I'm going to kill somebody. I usually will like spit that day that we're going to film that. I'll try to stay away from them, like
Okay.
totally be. I've read a lot that Kane Hodder does that when he does Jason or Hatchet. I'll try to stay away from them so that when they do see me and if the scene's real intense, they get that real look of fear, the real, you know, scared. It's like realistic, instead of like hanging out with them all day and being buddies. I want them to be afraid.
All right.
So I've always been kind of a method actor, like
Yeah, that's
really
cool.
tried to get into it.
Oh yeah. Uh, so is there a certain icon like a Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger? Is there a certain icon that you would kind of like to be associated with, whether it be Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, or is it you just love doing it no matter what?
I just love doing it no matter what. I mean, I love all the movie monsters. The one that got me when I was a child was first time I seen Frankenstein, Boris Karloff, which
Okay.
behind me I have a lot of Frankenstein stuff.
Oh yeah.
Uh, that just it. I don't know. I was a strange child because nothing scared me. Like my sister took me to see The Exorcist when I was 12, and my mom was furious when she found out. And I'm just like, how did they do all that? How did they do that stuff in the room? How did they, I was always questioning how it was done rather than being afraid.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's really being curious about it. How did they do that? How did they do that? And then when I started taking the acting classes, I started thinking to myself, I can do this. Why not me? Why can't I'm no different than anybody else? They put on their pants the same way I do. I can do this. You just got to get over that shyness because I was shy. I was afraid to get in front of a lot of people, but the more classes I took, and I took a lot of improv classes, which really helped. I got over it. You know, I
Yeah.
lost that fear.
Yeah. It's that seems to be the one thing holding this generation back is like they're afraid to take that leap. You know what I'm saying? And
You
it's
got to take chances. I mean, if you don't, you're just going to sit around and wish you did it. I wish I would have started earlier. If I would have known how to do this, I would have started when I was 15, you know, but I didn't know how you know, I was like most people. I think it's impossible. You know, I'm like, that's impossible. But now I'm, you know, getting phone calls from Butch Patrick and talking to Robert England. And I'm like, if you would have told me I could do that 20 years ago, I would have thought you were crazy, you know? So it's not impossible. If you want to do it, just put your mind, you know, focus and just, even if you don't make it, you know, like if I was to die tomorrow, I'm on film somewhere and
True.
my grandkids, their grandkids, it kind of makes you immortal. You're always going to be in there. You know, somebody can always say, that's my grandpa or that's my dad, or
Yeah.
you just got to go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand exactly what you're saying because, you know, I wrote a script a couple years ago. It was a short film, but I'm going kind of big with it now. And like, I've never written, I've never acted, never done none of that. I was in the mindset of it's not going to happen, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But then talking to, you know, professionals such as yourself and others that have been on a show, and everyone's like, just go for it, just go for it, you know. And that's when I asked them the question, what advice would you give somebody trying to get into the industry? And everyone's like, just go for it. And I was like, you know
Yes,
what, it's time to do it. So you guys motivate not only a younger generation, but you motivate everybody to take that leap. And for that, I say thank you. And it's mad respect for you guys.
I can't
And
wait to see it, or
uh,
even if you can help be part of it. You know, I
uh,
mean, it's you just got to do it. It's like Bruce Lee said, there is no such thing as defeat until one accepts it.
that's true.
So if you don't believe you can be defeated, you won't be.
Uh,
So
uh,
you just got to have that spirit.
yeah. Yeah. Uh, so I'm looking through your IMDb right now, and a lot of different genres, but there's one that keeps standing out to me. I haven't seen it, but I'm going to look for it. Athens County Massacre.
Oh yeah, that was one of the first William Lee movies I did, and it's an alien movie about aliens, and it's a horror film, a lot really gory, but I just had like a little short part in it, but it was still, I mean, it was one of the first movies I did, and I was all excited, and you know, but it's actually a, you know, okay indie movie. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Uh,
There's a ton of them that I'm in on Tubi.
oh, trust me, I ain't got none but airing opportunity between me and throwing a big ass steak.
Yeah,
So,
one of
uh,
my favorite ones that's on Tubi. One of my favorite ones on Tubi that I did with William Lee is called 6 Feet Below Hell. It's a kung fu zombie movie. It's pretty cool.
a kung fu zombie movie. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, you play Thai. Oh, and a zombie.
I actually play like 6 different zombies in it, and then I play another part.
Oh, yeah.
So a
Oh,
lot of
shoot.
makeup.
I'm watching that one tonight.
Oh,
uh,
the makeup artist who did the makeup in it was incredible.
oh, yeah.
His name was Harry McCain, I think. Really good.
Oh, yeah. So, with the filmography you have right now, and you got two that are going to be coming out, where do you see yourself? You know, like I say 10 years from now, but like where do you see yourself in the future? What does the future hold for you?
Uh, Hopefully, good things for me and my family, and I'm going to keep driving. I mean, I'm not going to stop until they nail the coffin shut. I mean, it's what I do now. It's what I love to do. All my children are grown up and moved out, so it's just me and my wife in the house, and it keeps me busy, gives me something to do. It's my passion, my love. You know, if somebody calls me and says, "Hey, you want to do a movie?" I'm there. You know, send me the script. I'll audition. I don't care what it is. So
Uh,
it's
I
it's
mean,
what I'm going to keep doing until I drop.
oh, yeah. just, I mean, it's refreshing hearing you say that, it doesn't matter what it is, you'll do it, because there's a lot of people out there, and I'm not going to name names because that's not fair to them, but there's a lot of people out there who they stay in their own lane and they don't ever want to kind of like traverse out of it to try to something new. But the fact that you're like, hey, I'm willing to do whatever, that is so refreshing because
Oh,
you only see that on the independent scene.
watch the movie called Immaculate Possession. There's a scene in that they talked me into doing because I had never done comedy. And it's kind of a comedy, a movie about a ghost, but there's a scene in it that I did and they talked me into doing it. And I never thought I would do it. But then after I did it and watched the playback, it's so funny. Like they played it at Horror Hound and people were just crying with tears that it was so funny, the part I did. And like they said, that just showed a wider spectrum of what I can do. You know, it shows that I can do other things besides just stabbing people to death or, so now I look forward to doing comedy. So yeah, I'll do drama, comedy, whatever. But horror is always going to be my first love.
Oh yeah. Uh, you, I'm gonna take it you're a big Kiss fan.
Yeah, a little bit.
uh, so music plays such an important role in film, especially horror, because if you ain't got the right music, it ain't gonna be scary. So when you're getting into character or preparing for a character, do you listen to a certain like set list, or do you how what music do you listen to when you're getting into character?
I When I did Grassman, I would listen to a lot of Black Sabbath because it was such a dark character I was playing, and it would just put me in the mood, just to be doing some evil stuff. Um, I don't know. Sometimes if I'm doing a film, I'll listen to Kiss. Anything Kiss is real like uplifting music. It's more pop. It's not really heavy metal, but I'll listen to anything really to get my energy up. Like before I go to set, I'll have it on in the car and be getting myself fired up. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, especially when I was working. When I first started, I was working a third shift job, so I would leave my third shift job, get off at 5 a.m., go to set, film all day, go back home, sleep an hour, and then go back to the third shift job. I was literally falling asleep standing up. I
Dang,
did that for years.
that's crazy. I mean, that's dedication to the art, though.
Yeah, that's what you got to pay your dues sometimes. And if you want to do it, I wanted to do it so bad. So, and I've
Oh,
never been into like drugs or anything. So,
that's good. Uh,
yeah,
so,
despite what I look like.
so in the movies, do you take yourself out of kind of like the reality, the world? Because you said earlier that when you're a role, when you're in a character, Cliff is not there, and you are the
Yeah,
character. So when you are being these characters, do you stay in character until the filming is all done, even when you go home, or is it once they yell cut, you're back to being Cliff?
I once they say cut, I'm back to me.
Uh,
A friend of mine who real famous, Dee Wallace. I was talking to her, and she said she's always had a problem with that. Like emotional scenes for her, where like Cujo, where she was in the car with the little boy, she had
uh,
a hard time turning that off. The whole crying and everything, and being so upset,
yeah,
and she had a hard time with that. But to me, once they say cut, it might take me a few seconds, especially if it's a real intense scene, to get calmed down a little bit. Sometimes I'll be shaking but yeah, I usually just go right back to being me, you know,
uh,
because I wouldn't want to be some of the people I've played because some of them have been pretty ugly people. So
uh, uh, so what does your family like when you were first getting into this? What was your family and friends' reactions? Because I know a lot of people say they were all. I mean, I've heard some horror stories. So just What was
Oh
your
yeah.
family and friends?
It was my family was behind me. Um because they've always known that I've had talent. I mean, I can draw and I can do makeup and um a lot of my friends though, even old friends, thought I was totally crazy. Because I had been saying that for a long. I'm going to do movies. I'm going to do movies. I'm going to get into movies. And they just kind of look at you like, yeah, right, man. You know, they don't say nothing bad, but they're like, okay, whatever. And now that I do it, they're all like, hey, man, you did it. Congratulations. And some of them that never even talked to me in school
Yeah.
are sending me friend requests. Hey, what's up, man? And I'm thinking in my head, not to be mean, but I'm like, you wouldn't even give me the time of day back in the day. And now you want to hang out, because they think if you do movies, they think you're a billionaire and not everybody's Tom Cruise. So, and I'm not even doing it for the money. I'm doing it for the art. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a lot of people that's asked me to do their film. And they're like, hey, man, I can't pay you much. Or, you know, I'm like, dude, I don't care about that. Let's make a movie.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
I don't care anything about that. As long as I got gas to get there and let's do this. I don't. That's not never been in my mind at all.
Oh yeah. That seems to be, especially for people who are just now starting out, whether they be actors, directors, writers, whatever. That seems to be the main consensus is, they want to one get their name out there, but they also want to be able to say, hey, I had this under my belt, you know. But
Yeah,
then you have your people who, quote unquote, been in the industry, whether it be for a minute or for years, who kind of look down and be like, well, why do you want to do this if you ain't going to try to be rich? I mean, it's a love for the passion.
yeah.
It's a love for the
I mean,
art.
don't get me wrong. Money's nice. Money can help you take care of your family.
Oh yeah,
But the main thing at my age now, I really don't care about that. That's superficial. To make a good movie is what I want to do.
oh
To
yeah,
put something out there that I'm proud of and it's awesome and it scares people or makes them laugh or makes them cry. That's what matters. If the money happens, great. If it doesn't, great.
oh yeah,
I made new friends along the way. I met some cool people. We had some good times. That's what counts.
oh yeah.
I guess that's just part of getting older. So, you start thinking about things like that.
Nah. Well, I mean, so with all the work you've done, and whether it be on the helping with the makeup or helping with the effects or helping or actually being in the films and stuff like that, with all the work you've done, every time you get a different credit, in my opinion, it, like you said earlier, you become immortal because you're in there all the time. But the thing is because you're always in a film, but the thing is every credit to me is just a different level of respect that you should be given, because you're out there busting your butt, doing what you can with what you love.
Yeah,
You know? And there's a lot of people
exactly.
who there's a lot of people who will try to knock you down. But I think Aaliyah said it best. If you get knocked down and you don't succeed, just pick yourself up and dust yourself off. God, I can't believe I just did that. But whatever.
Yeah, we did this one movie with Tom Dallas, and it was wintertime. And I guess the boom mic guy got sick, didn't show up. I stood outside the window because they were filming inside. And I'm outside the window, holding this boom mic in the snow, freezing my ass off. And Tom was like, "You're insane. You stood out there the whole 45 minutes." But that's what it takes sometimes to do something like that. To make something that you're proud of, and you know, you gotta go for it. That's all there is to it.
Oh yeah. Uh there's another title you've been in that I want to talk about here for a minute. You play a character named Fire in Black Mamba.
Yeah.
Uh Can you kind of give a synopsis of what that film is and how your character plays into that one?
It's a it's a supernatural. William Lee does a lot of action movies, a lot of kung fu stuff. It's a supernatural movie, and I played a demon named Fire who's trying to take this person back to hell. And I had a fight scene in it, and it was once again something out of my comfort zone, but I did it. And I rehearsed with a person who was good with swords and showed me how the sword fight and safely with nobody getting hurt. And it was a lot of fun.
All right.
But
Uh,
it's actually a pretty cool movie.
all right. I'm gonna check that one out too. You got you play a German radio officer in Uber Zombie Frau.
That's a great movie. That's a good movie.
Yeah. Zombie movies are my favorite genre. So, are subgenre in horror.
Nazis. And we filmed it at the Loveland Castle. So
Oh, dang. So do you feel that you've reached like a point in your career to where you are, I don't want to say better than what you were because you're always going to be better because you're doing it better every time. Are you at a point in your career to where you're satisfied to where if you were like, if someone said, "Well, we don't want you in movies anymore," or you got sick and you couldn't do it, God hope we don't that don't happen. So you said earlier that you'd be cool, but so you're satisfied where you are right now.
yeah, but I'm always trying to get better. Always.
Uh, oh yeah,
I mean, there's no such thing as practice till you're perfect. There's perfect practice. So I'm a big Bruce Lee, read all of his books, philosophy type guy. And he was very intelligent when it came to being very driven and positive. And I believe a lot of his stuff was true. I believe, be like water, and all that. Um, I'll never stop trying to get better. I never think I'm good enough. And
yeah.
if somebody doesn't want me in their movie, that's fine. I just go to the next one.
Oh yeah,
I don't let it get me down. You're going to hear 5,000 no's and maybe 4 yeses.
oh yeah,
You you can't give up.
yeah. Yeah. It's the reality, in my opinion, the reality of like people succeeding is not, again, like you said it earlier, not by the wealth you gain by monetary value, but by the wealth you gain in knowledge and accepting that you have never felt and you never will.
Yep.
And I mean, I respect everyone who does film, regardless if it's a 5 minute short all the way to, I've seen some really long movies, but
Yeah.
I want to say though that, like, again, it is refreshing knowing that there's people out there such as yourself that we know you're in it for the art and your passion for the film industry strikes us to a nerve to where it's like, dang, now we have to try because we don't want to, one, let you guys down, but two, also let ourselves down, you know?
Yes.
So I'm always going to respect you guys for that. And at the end of the day, it's like you guys are doing entertainment for pretty much for fans and for yourself. And because you said it yourself, you were a fan until you started getting into the movies. And that's
Yeah.
ultimately, that's what it is. It's just fandom took into the extreme, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Uh,
like I said, it brought me out of, I won't talk about it because I don't like to go back there, but it brought me out of the very dark place I was in with
yeah.
what happened to us. And I think it was God's way of saying, hey, it's going to be okay, man.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have these talents. It's time for you to use them. So I've met some of the most nicest, positive people um, that you'll ever meet on a movie set.
Oh, yeah.
That will give you their shirt off their back and they just met you. These are like really good people.
Oh, yeah. Uh, So, what advice would you give people that are trying to get into the industry in any facet of the industry, whether it be writing, directing, producing, acting? What advice would you give them?
Don't stop. Don't listen to people telling you no. Um, Never believe that you're not good enough because you are. Everyone is talented. Everybody has a gift. You just might not know what it is yet. Like I thought mine was makeup, and I was fairly good at it. But then when I started doing the acting thing, I was like, hey, I'm pretty good at this too. And if I have somebody to teach me to be better, I'm going to give it a shot. And that's what I did. And if you're trying to direct or anything to do with the movies, just don't stop. I mean, reach out to all these cast companies like D. Myers Casting. There's one in Cleveland, I think, or Columbus, Angela Bowen Casting. I mean, anytime you hear that they're looking for someone on the news, extras needed here, go for it. Because I started out as an extra, and now I got in a Ben Stiller movie, and I was in the Zac Efron Ted Bundy movie, and Emilio Estevez movie, and I mean, those would have never happened had I not went down there at 7 o'clock in the morning, stood in the cold, and just waited to get one little scene in the background, you know. But it's like a domino effect. If you keep being positive and showing up and bust your butt, good things are going to happen.
Oh yeah. We're coming to the end of the show, but I'm going to give you the floor for a couple minutes to where you can plug your socials where people can or cannot reach out to you, up to you, where they can watch your films and just kind of stay in contact with how you're doing and what you got coming out and stuff like that.
There's IMDb, which you can look up on there. It shows everything I'm doing. I have two Facebooks. One's for movies and one's my personal. Just look up Cliff Cash. Pretty much that's it. Or catch me at conventions. I'm always at Scarefest or Days of the Dead or Horror Hound. Mainly at Horror Hound. I never miss a Horror Hound. That's my family. So I mean, just look for me there. If you see me on the street, give me a shout. If you want me to do one of your films, just say, "Hey, Cliff, you want to do this?" I'll do it. I don't know so much about the stunts anymore, though. I'm getting too old for that. I'm breaking some bones. So,
Oh yeah, no. Uh, it has been an honor having you on, my friend.
oh, it's been awesome, man.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what you're gonna do with your film.
It's trust me, it is very hmm, how do I say it? Well, it's a supernatural slasher, but it I'm kind of going into it reckless because this is my first time in a field ever. And I took a what was going to be a 15-minute short and turned it into a trilogy.
Yeah,
So it's very ambitious, and we're hoping to get a Indiegogo or a crowdfunder or something like that going sometime this month or next month because we kind of want to start
yeah.
filming in the fall. But we're also in the process of finding people who want to be on a crew. We're doing auditions, and it's a lot going on along with working a regular 9 to 5 and making sure the wife is taken care of. It's a hard process, but it's a process I will take.
Well, if you need any help and I'm not doing nothing, I'll help you out with whatever. I'll make sandwiches. I don't care. I mean, I'm getting ready to in May. I'm doing this um, Slaughter Horse,
Oh, okay.
Toby Johansson film, and I play a character called Chainsaw Charlie, which I'm sure is not going to be too nice of a guy. And then in September, I'm doing Toby's film, the Halloween Ultimus. Ultimus,
Oh
I think
yeah,
that's what it's called. Or Devin, that's his name, Devin.
yeah.
Halloween Ultimus. I'm playing a doctor, so
Oh yeah.
I'm excited for that too. So
Oh yeah. He was actually on a show recently.
yeah, I watched it.
Yeah. You know, uh, that's again before we go. That's one thing. I want everyone to know that this channel is about. I've said it before, I'll say it again. This is not a channel about me. This is not a platform for me. This is a platform for everybody else to be able to come on here, talk about your films, talk about what you got going on, but also for another chance for maybe a different audience to be able to get to know you guys. And the best part about that is this platform will never be about me. This is your guys'
Yeah,
show. I'm just here along for the ride.
yeah. It's awesome that you do it. I mean, it's a great way of networking and meeting new people. And thank you for doing it. Thanks a
Uh,
lot.
you're most welcome. But it is I who should thank you guys because you guys take times out of your schedules to sit and talk with me for 45 minutes to an hour, and it's very greatly appreciated. You have no idea.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
All right. All right. We're gonna end it here, but you are more than welcome on the show anytime, whether to be talk movies, just or plug your movies, talk movies, or to say, Josh, you got a booger in your nose, which I cleaned it out earlier. I clean it out every day.
Oh yeah.
All right, but keep rocking on, keep Kiss alive because they're on my playlist at work every day. Uh, but other than that, yeah, we're gonna end it here. Cliff, thank you for coming on. You've been phenomenal, and I can't wait to
You.
talk to you again. And yeah, just
I'll see ya.
stay who you are,
Keep
man.
rocking.
Oh yeah, everybody,
Later.
later.